All right, guys, welcome to my house tour, part 8, my daughter's room. She used to be into pink, and now she's not anymore. So, I painted it all in preparation for building a loft bed. I drew up the plans of kind of what I wanted it to look like, and then we got to work building the frame. We got the frame built, and then I realized that I needed to take the outside part down and redo it. I'm not going by any sort of plans here. I'm just building this piece by piece. I've never built anything this big before, so I'm just building as I go. The frame is all built by 2x4s, and I know this looks ugly right now, but I promise it's going to look better. This is the headboard and the desk area that I'm putting together here. And then before I went any further on that, I needed to work with the window. I removed the sill and the trim, and then I removed the blinds so I could frame it all out. And there's a reason for this, I swear. I added a new sill, and then I added brown board to the edges to get rid of that drywall texture on the inside of the window. I framed it out with 1x3s, and then around the edges of those 1x3s, I added 1x2s on their sides. I call this kind of a craftsman style, but I don't know if that's really the style it is. Then I got it all primed and painted. I'm planning on adding shiplap to this whole loft bed, so I painted it all before I put it up. This color is Tricorn by Sherwin-Williams. I figured that anything that gets messed up by the saw or nail holes, I can just fix after I hang it all up. I'll have to fill in all those nail holes anyways and sand it. Let me tell you, there was so much shiplap to hang up in all these odd places. Now, the reason I took a break into the window trim is because the shiplap was going to go up to the window frame, as you could see here. Now, that beige color the window wasn't what I was going for, so I decided to tape it all off and prime and paint it. I spray painted it a satin black color, and this is the most satisfying part, is removing all of that tape and plastic. I'd always wanted to try the electrical tape window grid hack, so I tried it here because why not? It turned out pretty good. Once that window was done, I finished the shiplap going all the way around it. It's kind of like an accent wall leading off of the loft bed. My husband helped me with anything structural on this bed, so that way he was sure that the bed wasn't going to just fall off the wall since this was my first big build. So he helped me with the steps. Of course, Ellie had to test them out to make sure they were safe. Then we got the handrail put in so she doesn't fall off in her sleep. Then it was time for the headboard area. Of course, you have to have a nightstand by your bed, so I ended up adding this little hidden storage area for her to use.
Ooh, a place for my LOLs.
Whatever you want.
And toys.
Whatever you want. Oh, you see all those nail holes? You're going to help me fill those in.
What?
I didn't actually make her fill all those nail holes. The worst part of this project was bringing this air compressor in and out, but I've upgraded to a battery-operated nail gun since then. Guys, I'm telling you, the shiplap on this loft bed was never ending. There were so many small pieces that needed to be covered in shiplap. And every piece of shiplap meant more nail holes to fill, which I did right here. But I swear it was worth it. Then I got the steps and the railing stained special walnut. They turned out really pretty with the black. Then I got the whole thing trimmed out because the edges of the shiplap weren't very pretty. She wanted a light up top, so I found this sconce light that came in black, but I rubbed and buffed it in gold so it wasn't a black lamp on black shiplap. And look how pretty it turned out. It looked kind of antique. I liked it a lot. She did too. And surprise, surprise, more shiplap. But this one went a lot faster than all those little tiny cuts that I had to make. All the white color here is Marshmallow by Sherwin-Williams, and that is the last piece of shiplap. I was so excited. But I still had a lot of little tiny detail work to do, like this caulk. I taped it to get that perfect caulk line, especially so it didn't rub all over the black. Look how nice it turned out. And while Mia used to be girly and loved this little chandelier, it was time to change it out. She wanted this pendant light, but it was really expensive, and I knew I could make one on my own for like $30, which I used a beach ball and some twine and Mod Podge, and it did cost me like $30. I don't think it turned out too bad. And it was Tyler's idea to put some LED strips in because that would just make it really cool. And more detail work, I made this little coat hook for her backpacks and coats, and it was just made out of scrap wood and some hooks I had laying around. It actually turned out really cute. We hung this shelf for her to sit her TV on so she could see it from up top of the loft bed, and then I ran to Home Depot and got some plywood cut down because I was making her a dresser because I needed a specific size. Plus, I had never built a dresser before, and I figured my skill level would get better with each build that I make. Lots of pocket holes going into furniture making. This was a heavy piece, and I figured out how to maneuver it in the garage on my own. Got the carcass done, and then I got the face frame put on, which is just 1x2s, or part of it anyways. Here is where I got the rest of it put on, and then I was starting on the drawers. My husband said, "Good luck, drawers are hard." Well, challenge accepted, and I got them to work really well. But it was definitely some tedious work, and I built drawers differently now. This was one of my first projects that I've ever built drawers, so I learned a lot during this. I got the drawers built and installed. I didn't put the backs on just yet, so it would be easier to put the faces of the drawers on. And check out these handles that Mia picked out. I think they were really cute. I had to put one on to give it a test, and it was so pretty. I built the drawer fronts out of just plywood, the same plywood I used for the carcass, and I ironed on edge banding so that way the ugly plywood edges wouldn't show. You can see how the edge banding here makes it look like one piece of wood compared to the edge of the plywood. I built this long bottom drawer so that way she could have a place to put her shoes because her closet's really small. And look how pretty it turned out. I got the feet put on and then I got to staining it. And this is also special walnut. I did not put a back on this. I just put some cross support pieces so it wouldn't wobble and the drawers would stay steady. And look how cute this loft bed turned out with all those lights. I really loved it. This was my big 2020 build, when we were all forced to stay home. This was a big year for me in my DIY skills. I learned a whole lot, and Mia had a whole new room, and she really liked it, and she felt loved, especially since she was stuck at home too. And then later, she decided that she wanted drawers on her desk area, so I built drawers. Those turned out really good. I even put wallpaper on the insides of them because I thought it would be really cute. I love all the detail work, But then fast forward a couple years to 2023, and she decided that she didn't want this loft bed anymore because she was a teen now and she wanted a teenager room. So I made her help me take it all down, and I actually did make her fill the nail holes on the drywall. She wasn't very happy about it, but I got it all painted, the rest of the nails taken out that we missed, and then I painted the window frame that I had originally painted alabaster in Accessible Beige by Sherwin-Williams. Tyler hung a new light fixture for her because she wanted a fan and she sleeps hot. Plus, we live in Texas and a fan is kind of needed. She found this nightstand on Pinterest that she really liked, but they didn't have it available anymore, so I decided to build her one exactly like it. Kind of. She was away at a birthday party when I was building this, so I figured I would add a little surprise for her. It turned out really good right here. First, I got it painted, and now for the surprise. It gets worse before it gets better, I promise. I routed out a spot on the top of it and then put an LED strip in. Don't worry, it wasn't going to keep on looking like this. I had a plan. And that plan was tile that you could kind of see through when light was behind it. I got some little handles put on that were really pretty, and check out how it turned out. I didn't realize the LED strip was going to show exactly where it was, but whatever. It was fun to build. And then for her trim in her room to match the rest of my house, I removed all the door trim and then put a new Craftsman style door trim back on. And this is how her room is now. She's got a teenage room that she decorated all herself. We even hung some shelves by her bed at her request. And these vines, she's obsessed with the vines. What do you think?